To be on thin ice. To be in a precarious or risky situation where one wrong move could lead to trouble. To be in a fragile or unstable position, often due to past mistakes or unresolved issues. The new manager is on thin ice after making several mistakes in the first week. The company's financial troubles have put employees' jobs on thin ice. After the recent scandal, the CEO is on thin ice with the board of directors. His inappropriate behavior put him on thin ice with his colleagues. The team is on thin ice after losing several key players to injury. To be under the influence. To be affected by alcohol, drugs, or other substances that alter one's behavior or perception. To be intoxicated or impaired due to the consumption of mind-altering substances. The teenager was caught under the influence at school and faced disciplinary action. The driver was arrested for driving under the influence of alcohol. Being under the influence impairs judgment and increases the risk of accidents. She was clearly under the influence during her presentation, slurring her words and stumbling. He was under the influence of drugs when he got into a fight at the party. To be off the wagon. To return to an addiction or bad habit after a period of abstinence or improvement. To relapse into unhealthy behavior, especially related to alcohol or drug use. After 6 months of sobriety, he fell off the wagon and started drinking again. Recovering addicts must be vigilant to avoid falling off the wagon. He had been off the wagon for years before finally seeking help for his addiction. She's been off the wagon since losing her job, unable to cope with the stress. She struggled to stay off the wagon after her divorce, turning to alcohol for comfort. To be on the straight and narrow. To live an honest and morally upright life, free from wrongdoing or illegal activities. To follow a path of righteousness or ethical behavior, avoiding temptations and pitfalls. His friends encouraged him to stay on the straight and narrow and avoid trouble. After serving time in prison, he vowed to stay on the straight and narrow. Staying on the straight and narrow is essential for maintaining sobriety. She decided to get her life back on track and stay on the straight and narrow. He credits his faith for keeping him on the straight and narrow during difficult times. To read between the lines. To understand or perceive the hidden or implicit meaning in written or spoken communication. To infer or interpret what is not explicitly stated, often by considering context or underlying motives. When negotiating a contract, it's essential to read between the lines to avoid any hidden clauses. The author's use of symbolism requires readers to read between the lines to grasp the deeper themes of the novel. His vague apology seemed insincere, so I read between the lines and realized he wasn't genuinely remorseful. In her email, she hinted at resigning, but I had to read between the lines to understand her true intentions. During the interview, I had to read between the lines of his responses to understand his true qualifications. To be on the same page. To have a mutual understanding or agreement about a particular topic or course of action. To be in sync or aligned with others' thoughts, ideas, or intentions. The success of the event depends on everyone being on the same page and working together. It's frustrating when my co-workers aren't on the same page as me during meetings. To avoid confusion, let's have a meeting to ensure we're all on the same page about the upcoming changes. Before making a decision, it's crucial for the team to be on the same page regarding our objectives. We need to ensure everyone in the group is on the same page before proceeding with the project. To hit the nail on the head, to accurately identify or address the main point or issue in a discussion or situation, to express something precisely or aptly, often resulting in a clear understanding or resolution. His analysis of the problem hit the nail on the head, identifying the root cause of the issue. During the debate, he hit the nail on the head with his argument, persuading the audience to reconsider their views. When explaining the concept, she hit the nail on the head with her clear and concise explanation. The consultant's report hit the nail on the head, outlining actionable recommendations for improvement. The comedian's jokes hit the nail on the head, capturing the audience's shared experiences. To be in black and white. To be clearly stated or documented, often in written form, without ambiguity or confusion. To be expressed in a straightforward manner, leaving no room for misinterpretation or speculation. The evidence presented in the case is in black and white, leaving no doubt about the defendant's guilt. The terms of the agreement are in black and white, clearly outlining each party's responsibilities. The rules of the competition are in black and white, leaving no room for interpretation. Her resignation letter is in black and white, stating her intention to leave the company. The company's policy on harassment is in black and white, with zero tolerance for any form of misconduct. To turn the page. To move forward or progress beyond a difficult or challenging situation, often metaphorically. To transition to a new phase or chapter in one's life, leaving behind past experiences or obstacles. The company's bankruptcy was a setback, but now it's time to turn the page and rebuild. The end of the school year marks a time to turn the page and prepare for new challenges and opportunities. After mourning the loss of her loved one, she knew she had to turn the page and find meaning in life again. As a team, we need to turn the page on our past mistakes and work toward a better future. After the breakup, she decided it was time to turn the page and focus on her personal growth. To read someone like a book, to understand someone's thoughts, feelings, or intentions easily or accurately, often based on subtle cues or prior knowledge. To have insight into someone's character or personality, allowing one to predict their behavior or reactions. His facial expressions give him away. I can read him like a book and know when he's lying. As a therapist, she has a knack for reading people like a book and uncovering their underlying emotions. The detective's years of experience enable him to read suspects like a book, detecting any signs of guilt or deception. The negotiator was skilled at reading his opponents like a book, anticipating their next moves and countering effectively. After years of friendship, I can read her like a book and know when something's bothering her. To close the book on something. To conclude or finalize a matter, especially one that has been ongoing or unresolved. To put an end to something, often by making a definitive decision or taking decisive action. The company decided to close the book on its failing product line and focus on new opportunities. It's time to close the book on this chapter of my life and start fresh. She wanted to close the book on her past mistakes and move forward with a clean slate. After years of investigation, the authorities were finally able to close the book on the unsolved case. The divorce proceedings allowed them to close the book on their marriage and begin separate lives. To throw the book at someone. To impose severe penalties or punishments on someone, often to the fullest extent of the law. To apply strict rules or regulations to someone, without leniency or discretion. The judge decided to throw the book at the defendant, sentencing him to the maximum jail time. The regulatory agency threw the book at the corporation for environmental violations, imposing hefty fines and strict compliance measures. The disciplinary committee decided to throw the book at the athlete who violated team rules, suspending him for the entire season. The company threw the book at the employee caught embezzling funds, terminating his employment and pursuing legal action. After repeated warnings, the teacher threw the book at the disruptive student, sending him to the principal's office. To hit the books. To study or engage in academic pursuits, especially with diligence or determination. To devote time and effort to learning or preparing for exams or assignments. The aspiring lawyer knew she had to hit the books to pass the bar exam. During finals week, students can be found hitting the books in the library until late at night. With exams approaching, it's time to hit the books and review all the material. To improve his grades, he resolved to hit the books every day after school. She spends every evening hitting the books to stay on top of her coursework. To be on the back burner. To be delayed or postponed, often in favor of more immediate or pressing matters. To be given low priority or temporarily set aside, typically while attention is focused elsewhere. The company's expansion plans have been on the back burner due to economic uncertainty. The issue of climate change cannot be put on the back burner any longer. Urgent action is needed. His dream of starting his own business has been on the back burner while he focuses on his current job. Our vacation plans are on the back burner until we finish renovating the house. The project is on the back burner until we secure additional funding. To be in a rage. To be extremely angry or furious. To be in a state of intense emotional agitation or indignation. She flew into a rage when she discovered her car had been scratched. The customer was in a rage after receiving poor service at the restaurant. The coach was in a rage after the team lost the championship game. When he heard the news, he was in a rage and stormed out of the room. His boss was in a rage when he missed the deadline for the project. To blow one's top. To lose one's temper suddenly and explosively. To become extremely angry or agitated to the point of losing control. She'll blow her top if she finds out we lost the client's file. I knew she was about to blow her top when I saw the look on her face. When he found out about the betrayal, he blew his top and started yelling. The boss blew his top when he saw the sales report for the quarter. He blew his top when he realized he had been tricked into buying a counterfeit product. To see red. To become extremely angry or enraged. To experience a sudden surge of intense anger or frustration. She sees red whenever someone questions her authority. Whenever he talked about politics, he would see red and start shouting. He saw red when he realized he had been cheated out of his money. The employee saw red when he was passed over for a promotion. I saw red when I found out he had been spreading rumors about me. To have a chip on one's shoulder. To harbor a persistent sense of resentment or hostility, often due to perceived injustices or grievances. To be overly sensitive or defensive about one's perceived inferiority or mistreatment. He's had a chip on his shoulder ever since he was bullied in high school. She has a chip on her shoulder about being from a small town, always trying to prove herself. Ever since he was overlooked for the promotion, he's had a chip on his shoulder. The new employee had a chip on her shoulder, feeling like she had to prove her worth to her colleagues. He approached every situation with a chip on his shoulder, ready to defend himself at the slightest provocation. To be hopping mad. To be extremely angry or furious. To be in a state of intense agitation or irritation. She was hopping mad when she found out her flight had been canceled. The teacher was hopping mad when she discovered the students had cheated on the exam. He was hopping mad when his computer crashed and he lost all his work. The customer was hopping mad after receiving poor customer service. When he saw the mess in the kitchen, he was hopping mad. To have a short fuse. To be easily angered or provoked. To have a quick temper. To react impulsively or explosively to perceived slights or frustrations. Watch out for him. He has a short fuse and can get angry over the smallest things. The boss has a short fuse, so it's important to approach him with caution. He has a short fuse when he's stressed, so it's best not to bother him. Growing up, his short fuse often got him into trouble with his teachers. She's always had a short fuse, but she's been working on managing her temper. To wrap one's head around something. To understand or comprehend something, especially something complex or difficult to grasp. To mentally process or make sense of a concept or idea. She couldn't wrap her head around the fact that he was gone. It took me a while to wrap my head around the new software, but I eventually figured it out. I'm still trying to wrap my head around the concept of quantum physics. It's hard to wrap your head around the enormity of the universe. I need more time to wrap my head around the implications of this decision. To be lost in thought. To be deeply absorbed in one's own thoughts, often to the extent of being unaware of one's surroundings. To be preoccupied or mentally distracted, causing one to appear distant or unresponsive. He's been lost in thought ever since he received the bad news. She didn't hear the question because she was lost in thought. Walking through the park, I found myself lost in thought, contemplating life's mysteries. Don't mind her. She's just lost in thought. I was so lost in thought that I missed my bus stop. To have a train of thought. To have a sequence of connected thoughts or ideas that progress logically or sequentially. To engage in a process of rational or coherent thinking, typically leading to a conclusion or decision. I need to gather my train of thought before I can continue. His train of thought was derailed by the unexpected turn of events. She followed her train of thought to arrive at a solution to the problem. Let me explain my train of thought so you can understand my reasoning. I lost my train of thought when someone interrupted me. To food for thought. To provide something worth thinking about or considering. To present an idea or concept that stimulates mental reflection or contemplation. The book raised several questions that served as food for thought long after I finished reading it. The movie's ending left viewers with plenty of food for thought about the nature of human existence. The professor's lecture gave us a lot of food for thought regarding the future of renewable energy. His remarks provided food for thought for the audience, sparking a lively debate. The documentary offered plenty of food for thought on the impact of technology on society. To be in two minds about something. To be undecided or uncertain about a decision or course of action. To have conflicting feelings or opinions about something, making it difficult to choose between alternatives. We're in two minds about whether to renovate our house or buy a new one. I'm in two minds about whether to accept the job offer. She's in two minds about moving to a new city. He's in two minds about whether to sell his car or keep it. I'm in two minds about which university to attend. To be on the same wavelength. To share similar thoughts, ideas, or understanding with someone else. To be in agreement or alignment with another person's thoughts or feelings. During the meeting, it was clear that they were on the same wavelength regarding the project's goals. We seem to be on the same wavelength when it comes to our taste in music. When discussing the issue, they discovered they were on the same wavelength. We've been friends for years, so we're usually on the same wavelength. It's refreshing to meet someone who's on the same wavelength as me about environmental conservation. To be on autopilot. To perform a task or activity without conscious effort or awareness, often due to repetition or habit. To navigate through familiar routines or situations without actively engaging in decision-making or thought. During the lecture, my mind was on autopilot, and I didn't absorb much of the information. I was so tired that I was on autopilot for most of the meeting. After years of driving, I can do it on autopilot. He was so engrossed in thought that he walked home on autopilot, barely aware of his surroundings. She went through the motions of her daily routine on autopilot, barely registering what she was doing. To put on one's thinking cap. To engage in focused or creative thinking in order to solve a problem or come up with ideas. To make a conscious effort to think deeply or critically about a particular issue or topic. The team put on their thinking caps and came up with a brilliant marketing strategy. It's time to put on our thinking caps and find a way to tackle this problem. Whenever I have writer's block, I put on my thinking cap and go for a walk. I need to put on my thinking cap to figure out how to approach this project. Let's put on our thinking caps and brainstorm some solutions. To be on cloud nine. To be extremely happy, elated, or euphoric. To experience intense joy or satisfaction, often due to a positive event or outcome. Winning the championship put him on cloud nine for weeks. He was on cloud nine after receiving praise from his boss. Getting accepted into her dream college put her on cloud nine. When she got the job offer, she was on cloud nine. She's been on cloud nine ever since she got engaged. To be a deep thinker. To be someone who engages in profound or introspective thought. To be characterized by a propensity for deep or philosophical reflection. She's always been a deep thinker, pondering life's big questions. As a deep thinker, he spends hours contemplating the meaning of existence. She's not one to engage in small talk. She's a deep thinker who enjoys meaningful conversations. He's known for being a deep thinker, often delving into complex subjects. Being a deep thinker, he often comes up with innovative solutions to problems. Level up your English. Master vocabulary, idioms, and phrasal verbs with fun quizzes. Translate meanings into 104 languages. Download now. Link in the description. Please like and subscribe to our channel.